Cancórla. I'd like to welcome the Minister here today, and I'd like to thank the Cancórla's office for choosing this topical issue. Now, I first put this topical issue in the 30th of September, so it's taken a while and it was deferred from last week, and obviously we know what happened yesterday. The Connemara Community Radio is a community-based and run radio station broadcasting for 10 hours a day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. It has 2 full-time staff and admin staff and a series of volunteers, up to 90 volunteers, to service the programs that they run. And they started broadcasting back on the 1st of July 1995. And there's a franchise area of some 11,500 people in Ireland. That obviously increases during the summer, a big tourist area. But more importantly, perhaps now, a huge internet following, obviously because of the immigration that we've seen, and they're able to monitor where these people from abroad are listening in, obviously from America, Australia, the UK, and they're able to see exactly when the peak listenership is, which is when the local news is on. So it's interesting what they can do, and it's a very important service that they run locally. As I said, they've had various funding streams over the years, and laterally they've been funded to the local community development program, the LCDP. They got a contract from 2010 to 2015, the funding ending at the end of this year. So obviously there's an amount of concern in the community that this very important local resource that they would run out of funding, and they've obviously been pursuing a number of suggestions to do that. Obviously they have the full backing of the local community in terms of continuing, in terms of ensuring that they're continuing with their programming. They cover local news, and they spread it through the different parishes in the Connemara area, from Ballyconneely to Roundstone to Cashel to Letterfrack to Rinville, and they have a broadcast studio in Inishboffin. They also give valuable service to young people who are interested in learning the whole trade and the whole media and the whole broadcasting side of things. And I've, as a local politician, I've been interviewed many times by young, enthusiastic, energetic people who are learning their trade and putting politicians under pressure, as they should be doing. But as I said, most importantly, it's providing that local service, a local link. The LCDP programme obviously delivered innovative responses to social inclusion issues, and with the additional support of community development programme resources, they were best placed to respond to the local needs of the community. And they put in place efficient strategies to reduce social inclusion and consistent poverty in the locality. So the programme has delivered, and this community resource has been very successful over the last since 1995. So they have, as I said, been pursuing other sources of funding. They've attempted under the SICAP program in the department, and that wasn't successful. Now I understand in the last period of time that they have applied under the Community Services Programme of the Department of Social Protection. So it's through PUBL, obviously, which cover a number of different departments. And I suppose as Minister for Rural Affairs, you will be covering a lot of different departments in your own role as well. I understand that they have applied under that community services programme, and that they're receiving positive vibes for a relatively small amount of money. Initially 89,000, or initially 139,000, and in the last period of time 89,000 with cutbacks. Such an excellent service for that small amount of money. As I said, 2 full-time staff, 9 part-time CE and TUS workers, and some 90 volunteers. 90 volunteers, Minister, goes to show the importance of this service in the community, that these people are willing to put that, as I said, they're volunteer to keep this, keep the show on the road, as a word, keep this very important local radio station and local resource open. So I would hope that through whatever means, and through a combination of departments and government agencies, that they will be able to put a package together to keep Connemara Community Radio on air after the 1st of January.
Now call the Minister.
Thank you, Last Cancórla, and I do understand the concern that the Deputy has, because I do understand that local services like this, particularly in radio, are extremely important in rural areas, particularly in rural isolated areas. So that certainly isn't lost on me. The group in question is currently in receipt of funding through the LCDP LCDP and has been advised that it will be funded under the LCDP for the rest of 2014, and the Deputy has stated this yourself. The SICAP is one of the key priorities of government, and its overall indicative budget for 2015 has been maintained close to 2014 levels. The programme's targeted groups are children and families from disadvantaged areas, lone parents, new communities including refugees, asylum seekers, people living in disadvantaged communities, people with disabilities, Roma people, the unemployed, including those who are not on the live register, travellers, young unemployed people from disadvantaged areas. In accordance with the Public Spending Code, legal advice, good practice internationally, and in order to ensure the optimum delivery of the services to clients, the programme is subject to a public procurement process, which is currently underway. Stage 1, the expression of interest, which the radio did, has been completed. Stage 2, invitation to tender, commenced on the 20th of October and will involve the successful applicants from Stage 1. One being invited to apply for one or more local community development committees in local authority areas to deliver the programme. Contracts for SICAP will be determined following the outcome of the procurement process. The public procurement process is a competitive process that is open to local development companies, not-for-profit community groups, commercial firms and national organisations that can provide the services to be tendered for to deliver the new programme. In Stage 1, joint applications were encouraged and organisations of varying sizes, for example, smaller organisations working in consortia with larger organisations, were invited to submit joint applications. I understand that some small groups, such as the Connemara Community Radio, faced a number of challenges in competing in progressing from Stage 1. The results of Stage 1 were released on the 24th of September, and while the Connemara Community Radio did submit an expression of interest, as the Deputy has said himself that the application was unsuccessful, the Minister for the Environment, Community and Local Government is now considering the implications of this outcome for Connemara Community Radio. I understand that discussions have opened up between the Department of Social Protection and the relevant parties regarding the group making an application to a more appropriate funding stream, such as the Community Services Programme. I think the Deputy is already aware of this himself. The proposals in Putting People First action programme for effective local government seek to position local government as the primary vehicle of governance and public service at local level, leading economic, social and community development, delivering efficient and good value services and representing citizens and local communities effectively and accountably. As part of the programme of reform of local government, local development companies, LCDCs, are being established in all local authority areas. These committees, comprising of public, private, socio-economic interests, will have responsibility for local and community development programmes on an area basis, including the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme known as SICAP. They will develop, coordinate and implement a more coherent and integrated approach to local and community development than had been heretofore, with the aim of reducing duplication and overlap and optimising the use of available resources. The public procurement process is a competitive process that is open to local development companies, other not-for-profit community groups, commercial firms and national organisations that can provide the services to be tendered for to deliver the new programme. Successful applicants to Stage 1 had to demonstrate that they would meet the criteria for the delivery of services in the lots applied for. I am confident that supports for the most disadvantaged in our society will continue under SICAP.
Thank you, Mr. Margaret. I come back to the Minister. Deputy Kyne, 2 minutes for a supplementary statement.
I'd like to thank the Minister for her comprehensive reply, and as you said, the Connemara Community Radio based in Letcherfrack have applied for the Community Services Programme, and I'm hopeful that we can get good news on that. But I suppose it's important that you relay to Minister Kelly that the pressure be kept on to ensure that there is a comprehensive package, because I mean, as I said, for 89,000, it is a hugely successful programme that is run under Connemara Community Radio. They provide an excellent service for the local people, and as I said, for people for the diaspora in various parts of the country, and for that relatively small amount of money in an overall package. And I would hope that, you know, if needs be, that from whatever department, to environment or your own department, if they need a small bit extra, that could be investigated as well. I'm sure you're familiar, like many people, with beautiful Connemara, and I'm sure you're familiar with Letcherfrack, which is a long history, and not all of it positive. But what has come over the last, since 30, 40 years, has been community people who have set up initiatives such as Connemara West, who have formed forum, who have been involved in projects like this. And there's a lovely campus in the old Ellis Hall in Letcherfrack, which encompasses this, including a GMIT furniture college with some 500 students in a small village, 500 students, and a very successful local radio station. So as I said, I would hope that through your own department and through Minister Kelly, we can ensure that there is a package for Connemara Community Radio from January to ensure that they continue to deliver this very important programme.
Margaret, Minister, to conclude then. 2 minutes left.
Very much, Seán Kyne, and yes, I will be pursuing this with Minister Alan Kelly, and because I do know how important these services are for rural areas, particularly with the Connemara, and I am very familiar with Connemara West and all the really good things that they do there. Perhaps also I might ask the Deputy that would he pursue the application as well through the Department of Social Protection, and any help or advice that I can give him, through that department as well. I will certainly make contact with the Minister of State there, Kevin Humphreys, and see if we can pursue the application through there as well. Thank you.
Margaret, there now.